In August 2025, the James Webb Space Telescope picks up an unusual sequence in its observations. Initially, it's a subtle cadence that slips past most observers. An understated irregularity with no business being there. Specialists scrutinize the figures closely. The transmission fails to align with any comet, asteroid, or familiar space event. Its form proves overly precise, excessively cyclical, nearly artificial. Soon after, officials verify a peculiar entity dubbed 3I/Atlas. It's not from our neighborhood, it's from beyond the stars. Its trajectory defies random probability. Next arrives the elemental bombshell. Nothing but pure carbon dioxide, absent water or carbon monoxide, defying all prior scientific encounters. As secure online briefings fade to black, international leaders hustle in the shadows. Precisely what has the James Webb instrument just signaled to humanity? And why are numerous researchers abruptly hesitant to comment? Unprocessed readings from the James Webb Space Telescope seldom allow for speculation. However, during the opening days of August 2025, an unidentified operator spotted a glitch, a peculiar recurring design hidden within the NIR spec sensor images. Not a surge, not a particle from space, but a motif. At the outset, it resembled adjustment static, a soft beat occurring at precise gaps, murmuring through the infrared range. The log showed August 6, 2025. Following standard procedures, irregularities get recorded, highlighted, and processed anew via the analysis system. Yet this persisted stubbornly. Each adjustment, each flaw inspection kept it intact. In mere hours, another examiner on the night watch reprocessed the data. The cycle was impossible to ignore. The signal's balance and intervals clashed with typical device glitches or sunlight disruptions. It avoided all conventional comet signatures. Absent water steam, absent carbon monoxide, only a steady beat woven into the carbon dioxide band, akin to a clock pulsing in emptiness. The motif's consistency attracted additional attention. By week's close, 3 team members from 2 organizations had discreetly shared insights. They detected identical formations in all shots across various apertures and IFU setups. The gaps weren't haphazard. They hit exact seconds, cycling with machine-like accuracy. No cosmic entity in the JWST records had displayed such rhythmic discipline. Once the entity's position was fixed, inquiries surged. Could this represent a novel comet type or an altogether alien form? The unshared raw images sparked subdued concern among the telescope's information handlers. The data narrated a tale nobody anticipated. On July 1, 2025, the Atlas Observatory in Chile detected a fresh body shifting amid the starry backdrop. The minor planet center marked its path as hyperbolic, untethered, originating from outside our solar system. The provisional label 3I/Atlas, marking just the 3rd verified interstellar intruder in human annals. Unlike the drawn-out enigma of Oumuamua or the frost-covered cyanide trail of Borisov, this visitor adhered to wholly distinct principles. Dr. Lin, an energetic trajectory expert at the MPC, spearheaded the validation process. She cross-referenced new Atlas snapshots with earlier tests and ZTF captures, following the body's route back to mid-June. Each datum refined the path. Incoming speed, sun approach tilt, and a closest solar pass slated for late October, well within Mars's reach. The metrics painted an unmistakable picture. 3I/Atlas wasn't orbiting the sun. Its eccentricity exceeded 1, a numeric hallmark ensuring it would exit forever. The path wasn't merely loose, it was calculated. The incoming direction matched the solar system's ecliptic plane to within degrees. MPC probabilists executed models. For a genuinely chance interstellar traveler, such flawless positioning occurs rarer than once per hundreds of entries. Still, it pierced the system's central line like thread through fabric. Dr. Lin's group dismissed gravitational boosts or local beginnings. The entity traveled excessively swift, excessively direct, on a route barring any planetary grasp. Yet the greatest revelation emerged in sizing it up. Preliminary luminosity gauges indicated a sphere roughly 46 kilometers wide, dwarfing its interstellar forerunners. No mere fragment, no ice clump, but a small planet traversing the abyss. Dr. Lin's report was succinct. Hyperbolic, incoming, operational. This is an unprecedented spectacle. The validation triggered a cascade. All prominent telescopes redirected focus to the arrival. But as initial spectral data flowed in, the enigma intensified. The composition rejected predictions, pivoting the puzzle from 3I/Atlas's origin to its true essence. Comets ought to activate with water. At 6 astronomical units from the Sun, far past Jupiter's domain, sunlight's influence is faint, and standard comet behavior scarcely activates. Yet the debut readings from JWST and SphereX revealed otherwise. The sole emission from 3I/Atlas was carbon dioxide. No water vapor, no carbon monox gone, without a hint. Simply a crisp CO2 peak slicing across the infrared spectrum, 10 times stronger than the wildest extremes from our own solar system. Experts crunched the data not once, but twice more. The proportions stayed fixed. Dr. Anders, a lead analyst in spectroscopy at ESA, called it odd, precisely carved. Across all captures, the CO2 signal overwhelmed everything. Water vapor bands, typically the standout in any comet nearer than $6, hid beneath the static. CO, the typical secondary, showed no sign. The composition wasn't merely odd, it was unknown territory. No comet, whether interstellar or from nearby, had ever shown such selective emissions. Standard theories on evaporation rates and gas release limits failed to explain it. Even the wildest origin theories faltered against an object this massive, this vigorous, releasing solely CO2 at such a distance from the Sun. The oddity sparked a rush to understand. Groups from NASA and ESA revisited the unprocessed images, probing for device errors, software flaws, or stray interference. Each check proved spotless. SphereX's separate scans, conducted shortly after, mirrored the findings. Nothing but carbon dioxide. Dr. Anders's private memo spread discreetly to key coordinators. If this counts as a comet, it's the weirdest we've encountered. The puzzle went beyond fueling 3I/Atlas. It delved into how other anticipated compounds could be so utterly silenced, and why the entity appeared designed to guard its mysteries within one lone spectral feature. On August 6, 2025, the James Webb Space Telescope wrapped up a routine near-infrared spectroscopy run on 3I/Atlas, yet the aftermath stayed out of public view. Rather than the standard data drop, the record slipped into a locked barrier. Official records revealed a void. No previews, no preliminary plots, just a vague stand-in. For several days, data queries bounced back with only a fault message, sans details. Within the EAY control hub, an unnamed mid-tier archivist, hidden in all disclosures, highlighted a batch of confidential documents. They outlined a hold on every visual output from that August pass. The reason, as yet unconfirmed, involved irregularities in the comet's coma layout. The wording stayed measured, detached, yet the specifics screamed abnormality. Per the disclosure, the unfiltered IR shots displayed an almost ideal circular aura of CO2 glow, balanced to the edge of the telescope's resolution. No streams, no sprays, zero disruptions to the form. Just a glowing circle fixed around a nucleus that flared brighter than the encircling haze. The confidential summary likened the setup to artificial simulations, hunting for organic causes like breakup, solar breeze sculpting, or uncommon surge shapes. Nothing aligned. The balance persisted in all shots, no matter the viewing angle or skin shifts. And right at the heart, the IR intensity surged far beyond mere sunlight warming. Absent water gas, absent carbon monoxide, just that persistent peak. The archivist's noted document closed with a query. What would drive a comet to expel only carbon dioxide? And what reason for the glow to build a perfect enclosure over an inner blaze? No official word emerged. The hold endured. For the first instance post-launch of Webb, key subject visuals went absent from the repository. Locked away, whispers suggested, by a select few credentials and a secure tracking trail pointing to the mission's data leadership. A faint streak, slender as a thread, glided over the nucleus of 3I/Atlas in the JWST's most probing views. Not a debris path, not a spout, but a level, spinning strip of obscurity caught solely in mid-infrared, pulsing across frames. ESA reviewers initially blamed an analysis fault, but the streak's spot moved with the body's spin, forever aligned on one line, flawlessly straight. No ordinary comet had thrown such a self-shadow. Experts in materials stepped forward. To hold a shadow amid the coma, the underlying form had to exceed spongy frost. It demanded a casing solid enough to bar infrared, while slim enough to permit CO2 escape. The calculations suggested an empty interior, perhaps metallic, sheathed in a concealing coat. The shape proved too pristine for shattered stone. Overnight modeling of light bending tested every familiar rock and particle mix. None replicated the site. Dr. Rami, a specialist in planetary design, floated a disturbing idea. Should the core be vacant, the shadow might stem from hidden mechanisms, framework beams, or a turning framework under the skin. The even CO2 ring, consistent frame to frame, could serve as a deliberate shroud for the actual form, spreading warmth and blurring true signals. Estimates of the object's weight, drawn from luminosity and emissions, allowed for a huge inner void. Not some comet, but a husk. A rock reworked for journey. Its real intent, a concealed intent, lurked beneath an artificial shroud. With every fresh revelation, the mystery grew impossible to dismiss. The precise orbital spin, the shell-resembling glow, the lack of any water traces, all aligned with the notion of a constructed vessel from beyond the stars. Within the observations, the narrative unfolded not through visible rays, but via their deliberate omission, an engineered enigma whirling in obscurity. Dr. Malik, an authority on temporal astrophysical data patterns, was brought on board to scrutinize the network's information. She began by dividing the infrared emissions into separate surges, aligning each peak in strength with the temporal scale. What emerged was a progression that challenged conventional interpretations. Rather than the erratic, chance-driven twinkling from comet vapor releases, the beats occurred at spans of 2, 3, 5, 7, and 11 seconds, prime figures ascending in flawless progression. In physics, chaos reigns supreme. Yet this cadence felt programmed, deliberately orchestrated. The entity's width, spanning 46 kilometers, intensified the enigma. Interstellar objects of such scale occur infrequently in nature, though not beyond possibility. Far more unlikely was its path. Dr. Malik's computational models, executed on the Minor Planet Center's high-performance array, indicated just a 1 in 500 probability for an intruder to approach the solar system nearly parallel to the ecliptic. It wasn't merely traversing, it was carving through the orbital layer like a scout on a deliberate reconnaissance. The figures rejected any notion of mere chance. Pulses based on primes combined with such improbable positioning, 2 red flags in sequence. Malik's analysis, shared among a select group of top astronomers, highlighted yet another irregularity. The pulse arrangement evolved over time. Across 3 weeks, the intervals advanced in clear increments. Initially, basic beats. Next, doubled eruptions. Come August, the body shifted to phase 3, a cluster of 5 repeating every 283 seconds. The document cautioned of 5 stages altogether. As the ongoing loop approached its projected conclusion, the suggestion was unnerving. Beyond a mere transmission, it hinted at a timer, and for the moment, humanity eavesdropped from the shadows. Directives spread swifter than whispers. By midday on August 7th, entry to all Webb and SphereX data flows was restricted to a minimal team. Standard accesses collapsed. External scientists encountered barriers, rerouted to bland upkeep alerts. The Minor Planet Center's real-time view of 3I/Atlas stuttered before settling into a frozen overview. Even standard public interfaces, historical readings, trajectory plots, comet monitors, faded to black. Formally, operations proceeded normally. Informally, a fresh mandate reached every organization's table. All records on the entity now fell under technological anomalies, sealed tight. Within the Pentagon, Colonel Reyes assumed command. Her expertise lay in evaluating orbital risks, not celestial studies, but the pressing nature was evident. At 1,600 hours, the U.S. Space Force authorized an expedited liftoff. The X-37B, that versatile armed orbital vehicle, geared up for OTV-9. No media fanfare, no online broadcast, just a quiet rise from Cape Canaveral. Mid-flight, its route veered, curving into the Earth-Mars pathway, where 3I/Atlas would shortly traverse. Payload details stayed undisclosed. No official word emerged. For the inaugural instance, humanity's premier observatories trained on an extraterrestrial guest, while the public remained barred from the discussion. Deep space maneuvers aren't designed to occur unbidden. Still, in late August, trajectory trackers at the International Astrometry Consortium recorded faint alterations in 3I/Atlas's course. Minor bends that couldn't be pinned on solar breezes or gas expulsions. Professor Santos, focused on forces beyond gravity, crunched the data repeatedly. The paths self-corrected, seemingly reacting to invisible prompts. Each tweak drew it nearer to the Earth-Mars lane, tracing a corridor unfamiliar to any comet. At the same time, Dr. Vale, expert in molecular frameworks, delved into the radiance records. Those odd infrared throbs started unveiling a profound structure. Proportions of intensity maxima corresponded to patterns echoing DNA's coiled repeat formations, 3, 4, then 7. Far from haphazard or interference. Vale's software detected the correlation, sparking anxious chatter in the team's private channel. In those identical periods, the Deep Space Array endured 3 baffling interruptions. Aged spacecraft like Voyager and Pioneer fell mute for brief spells, precisely when 3I/Atlas intersected their vantage. Technicians pointed to solar flares, yet the synchronization proved too exact, too reliable. The intruder didn't simply travel, it evolved, communicated, and appeared to observe in return. 12 hours and 3 minutes. Invariably that duration, invariably near the hydrogen frequency. There, the unidentified expert in signal recovery spotted the initial resonance. No stray blip, but a meticulous repetition embedded in the static, enduring with a steadfastness beyond any organic mechanism. The specialist applied autocorrelation across 3 methods. Each run placed the summit at the identical Morrow K, 12 hours and 3 minutes later. That hydrogen emission serves as the cosmos's signature signal, recognized by radio observers, SETI researchers, and seekers of a common cosmic tongue. Yet this signal went beyond a simple signal flare. As the series of pulses got charted, an additional structure surfaced. The intervals and frequencies of every emission formed a progression, which, once unraveled, sketched a rough, yet clear superimposition. The Triangulum Galaxy M33 curving around to pinpoint our planet's location. The evaluator's concluding remark read, "This structure was intentional, free of random interference or equipment glitches." Throughout records of celestial monitoring, no meteor, space rock, or cosmic wanderer has ever inscribed its personal chart amid the static.